Hello everyone, my name is Mithyl and welcome to MD's World of Concepts. In this video, I would be sharing with you in Science 2 the most important questions and concepts which are most likely to be asked in this year, March 2018. So without wasting more time, let's get started. Chapter number 8, Understanding Metals and Non-Metals. A favorite chapter of paper setters. So let's go step by step to understand the important questions in this chapter. First, we need to do all the activities thoroughly. One question can come from those parts. Second, we need to remember all the exceptions which are there in the physical properties of metals. It can be asked as an objective. Do all the reactions thoroughly, practice them at least 15 to 20 times to master them. Then, one question most likely to come as from aqua regia. Also remember the table 8.1. One question will definitely be asked from it. Also, many students tend to forget to pay attention to the amphoteric oxide. It's a tiny paragraph, very important and most likely to come in this exam. Then one question definitely will be asked from formation of sodium chloride or magnesium dichloride. So when that question comes, you need to support this answer with a diagram, irrespective of how many marks it comes for. Then properties of ionic compounds, one of the most important question, and when you write this particular question, understand the point number 5 in the test book is the compulsory point which you are supposed to write. This is the point expected by the examiner and the moderator. Then remember the activity series and the terms which are coming in the metallurgy. In the extraction of aluminium, the important question as per me is the refining of aluminium along with the diagram. A difference between roasting and calcination is an important question. They may also ask the extraction or how do you refine a copper and what is corrosion and how to prevent it. One question definitely coming from prevention of corrosion. So ensure it that you know this entire chapter thoroughly to score better in Science 2 paper. Also go through 3 to 4 times the concept map, which is also self-explanatory. So let's proceed to chapter number 9. Chapter number 9, Amazing World of Carbon Compounds. The important questions in this chapter are 1. Structure of methane. 2. Properties of organic compounds. 3. Difference between saturated and unsaturated carbon compounds. One question would be asked between either catenation or isomerism, and one question probably most likely to come this year is the difference between diamond and graphite. One question would be asked either from functional group or write the characteristics of homologous series. One question will be asked either difference between an addition reaction and substitution reaction, or they will ask you to write the explanation of substitution reaction. Also, one question would be asked from ethyl alcohol or ethanoic acid properties or their chemical properties. 2 questions which are sure going to be asked from this chapter. One is a question related to soap, and one question would be asked from IUPAC nomenclature. So do this chapter thoroughly. If you find any difficulty in IUPAC nomenclature, I would be making a short video very soon to support you in this matter. So let's proceed to the biological part of Science 2. So let's start with chapter number 10. Chapter number 10, Life's Internal Secret. It's a very lengthy and an interesting chapter. It has 4 parts. So let me also divide the importance based on these 4 parts. So section A will go to first nutrition. In nutrition, the most likely questions to be asked are like a difference between inorganic and organic nutrients, or autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition. The blue table which you find on page number 117 is very important. Then there are certain short notes which can be asked, like small intestine or large intestine, or what is peristalsis, or write the reactions taking place during the digestion in stomach and small intestine. One of the most important question is the structure of villi in the human anatomy part. And when it comes to the plant's nutrition, the most important question is the cross section of leaf and how does the plant prepare their own food. Don't forget to remember the entire photosynthesis reaction, very important. So this is all about nutrition. Let's proceed to respiration. In the respiration part, the questions which can be asked are short note on breathing or external respiration or cellular respiration, the various organs involved in the human respiratory system, also the pathway for the breakdown of glucose, very important. You need to make the entire structure and describe it in your own words. Also, a difference between inhalation and exhalation, the role of alveoli in the gaseous exchange can be asked, and also the important question from the plants category is what is a stomata and how do plants respire with the help of stomata. Support each of this question in this chapter with the help of a diagram. Diagram plays an important role in this chapter. 1 mark is carried for the diagram, in which half a mark is for drawing the diagram and half a mark goes to labeling of it. When it comes to labeling, you need to do at least 3 labels for the diagram. So let's go to the transportation part of this chapter. Transportation. This part attracts the maximum questions in this chapter, starting with what is circulation to the vertical section of heart, also the working of heart or the circulation of blood within the heart. They both means the same. Also, a question can be asked is what is blood pressure, or what is sphygmomanometer, or as an objective, the instrument used to measure blood pressure. Also, an important question most likely to come is what is a lymph. Then the another important question is what is a double circulation, and you need to explain this answer with a schematic representation. So don't forget to do that. When it comes to plants part, you need to the most important question which can be asked is either a root pressure or a transpirational pull. Also pay attention to how does the roots absorb the water from the soil. You need to make the diagram, which is 10.16. Also the important question most neglected by all students is transportation of food with the help of phloem, also known as translocation, most likely to be asked this year. So let's go ahead with excretion. In excretion, the 3 most important questions which are almost sure to be asked is 1. What are raphites? 2. What is hemodialysis? And 3. The structure of nephron. The 2 sub questions, little important. One is the structure of the kidney and the formation of urine. So this is from chapter number 10. This is a very lengthy chapter. Divide the entire chapter into 4 parts and learn it as a small section. and please don't forget to support each answer with a diagram. Diagram will give you more marks. So let's proceed to chapter number 11. Chapter number 11, Regulators of Life. The important question one is, what is coordination? Then let's divide this chapter into two parts. One is coordination in plants, another is coordination in human beings. So first I will speak about coordination in plants. In coordination in plants, there are four important questions. The first question is, what is seismonastic movement? Second question is, a question will be based on growth independent, or one question will be from growth independent. However, students, please pay attention to the most important question of this section is a question based on plant hormones, most likely to be asked this year. So let me go ahead with coordination in human beings. In coordination in human beings, the most important questions, one is, what is a synapse, or what is a reflex action or a reflex arc, structure of neuron, the various types of neurons, short note on CNS, PNS or ANS. Also, what is a hormone and writes its characteristics. These are the most likely questions which can be asked. So let's proceed to chapter number 12. Chapter number 12, life cycle. There are many questions which can be asked from this chapter. Let's say, what is a mitosis or a meiosis, or the difference between mitosis and meiosis. One question to be asked from the asexual reproduction in unicellular or multicellular. As per me, one of the most important questions that you have to put an eye on this year is on page number 152. They can ask you, what is a haploid or a diploid cell, or they can ask you, explain the sexual reproduction with the help of meiosis and fertilization. One question can be either asked from the sexual reproduction in plants, explain the structure of the flower and label each parameters and explain them in detail, or they can ask you a short note on pollination, fertilization or germination. One question surely coming from the plants part. As we all know, one question most favorite will be asked from the male reproductive system or the female reproductive system. However, I would request all students to come on page number 155 and understand the entire table properly. An objective can be asked from this chapter. A short question would definitely be asked this year would be from the family planning section that you will find on page number 158. Don't forget to do this question. It's a very important question. So let's proceed to chapter number 13. Chapter number 13, mapping of genes. In this chapter, the first thing that we need to do thoroughly is the various terms which are used. Most likely to ask this year is the Darwin's theory of evolution and the sex determination in human beings. If a question is asked on the monohybrid or the dihybrid cross, please students do not attempt it, because there is no set parameters as to how to solve and represent this question in the question. Hence, the parameters which will be given to the examiner may not be exactly the way you have followed it, and you will in the end lose marks. So would request you, do not attempt it. Also, the most important question this year would be one Lamarckism, sure they're going to come, and one will be a short note on the various evidences. Do it thoroughly, and I repeat, do not attempt the monohybrid and the dihybrid cross. You will lose marks. Pay very good attention to it. So let's proceed to the last part of section Science 2, and that's chapter number 15. Chapter number 15, Striving for Better Environment, Part 2. The important questions in this chapter 1 is what is eco-efficiency or how can you achieve it? The next question is the objectives of sustainable development. This is an important question. You need to follow it. Also, how to control population, the population control paragraph, you need to do it thoroughly. Also, when it comes to page number 196 and 197, the important question as per me is either the functions of MPCB or the powers of MPCB. Out of these two, one would definitely be asked. One question will be asked from the general powers of central government with respect to the Environmental Act 1986. One question this year would be asked from the directive principle of state policy. You need to write the Article 49, very important. One question would be asked, what is a silent zone and the consequences of any violation that you do in silent zone. Either one question would be asked from the biomedical waste or one question will be asked from the e-waste. This is the important questions of this chapter. I wish you all the best for your Science 2 examination. Do well because you deserve it. I would be also uploading the important questions of history and geography very soon. So stay tuned and keep learning.